Well, I am back again. We're going to see how this works. And gosh, my character looks terrible on that TV. So, we're back. We put some Wagner skin on this guy. I brought a spotlight into the room so it would turn off my camera. Okay, and are we going to get some people back in here? Let's see if we could put this up here and this up here and bring this down here so I can kind of see what's going on. Who's on which base? Says we have an excellent connection. Do I believe it? No. But let's see. All right. It could be my graphics card. My graphics card is the very thing that's supposed to be broadcasting me. Okay, so we timed out. So Intel can't check for updates again. So my problems every time I install the Intel driver on my computer for this ARC 770 card, which is like their flagship card, it just completely destroys the internet connection, and it won't check for updates anymore, and I have to manually install them. Then I have to go in and use some kind of remover program to remove their driver. I remove it, it works like once or twice, and then it runs another update and completely destroys the graphics card's ability to connect with the internet again. So I'll be going to, I love my Intel CPU, but the graphics card is terrible. I am back, Art. I am back. I don't know how long I'm going to be back. It says we've got an excellent connection. I don't know how long it's going to stay this way. So we'll see. It's saying that maybe that was it. Maybe that when my graphics card has a connection to the internet, it just doesn't work right with the with broadcasting. It seems as though that's gone, and suddenly I'm able to broadcast again. So who knows at this point? But it's turned itself off. Thank you. Yes, this is my new haircut. I just cut my hair today, so we have a new haircut. So part 4, we're back. So now what I wanted to do was go and look. There's a new product. I just bought it today. It's not new, but I'd like to let you guys know that it's around. Do you know when sometimes you take and create, you go into your parameters. Okay, I got to get over to this computer, and we got to switch that back to this. Parameters. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use this, but it's like sometimes with a character, you do things like you want to be able to turn off all of sub D if you're doing animation. Just a minute, this fan is too cold. It's getting cold here in Maine. All right, just a minute. I gotta turn off my fan, which will make it quieter in here. All right, so it seems as though maybe that was the problem, that when my ARC graphics card actually has a connection to the internet, it hogs it, and it just doesn't let OBS broadcast. And it's like, Intel, you got to fix that. Okay, yeah, I've had to restart this 4 times. Now it says we've got an excellent connection, and the only thing that happens, it was a good idea that I upgraded my ARC graphics card, because when I updated it, it crashed its ability to connect to the internet and check for updates. But whenever that's crashed, my OBS broadcasts and uses the card to broadcast correctly. So it seems as though it fixed the problem, and I'm not sure exactly how long or what's going on. So we're going to go into smart content. This is something that I just purchased today. We're going to go install date recent first. And I don't think these are actually the recent things first. So I think if I go to my other computer and do a search, let's hope this doesn't mess with my connection. We go to DAZ. I think I'm logged in. No, but I have to keep me logged in. Log in. I'm surprised that DAZ doesn't have like two-party, you know, where you have to send a code to log in and all. All right, so we're going to go to my account. We're going to go to product library. Come on. Anytime now. And what is this called? No, it's not the Disco Boogie outfit bonus textures. I got the Chinchihuahua today for about like $5 for the whole bundle. $3, I think $4. Mega bundle for Daz Dog 8. Pond Bridge. Okay, look at my hair. Guess what we're going to be doing? We're going to be growing hair on things. Okay, this is called Property Manager. And this is something that we're going to look at. I'm going to let you guys know about. Maybe you already own it. It's called Property Manager. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Here it is. Okay, I got this today for about, I think, like $6, $5. Okay, because I had like 8 tokens. So yeah, I had to spend like $100 to get this for $6, but I did. And so, all right. So this property manager, regain control over your properties. It sounds like some kind of political thing, you know, like some kind of amendment rights or something, but it's not that kind of properties. It's or the right to own land. Okay, this is a different kind of properties, and both increase your productivity and speed with the new property manager. And is like, I don't think there's any taxes involved with this program or anything like that. So maybe there's some sales tax when you buy it. Productivity and speed with the new property manager. Okay, and what's kind of cool is this opens up and you can just choose a property, specify the value, select one or of 4 modes. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, I've never used this before. And then you can select another property and another property, and you can just create different. And then I don't know whether if there's some kind of where you can just create a button where you can just click all the and like if you're working with animation, or you have this really massive scene and you just want to turn everything in the scene to turn off all the smoothing or turn off the sub D on things, those are properties. Anything that you want to do, that's a property. If you put a figure in the scene and you just want to apply a bunch of properties like height and you know, they like morphings, anything that's in properties. Okay, no, this would be parameters. Okay, in your parameters, these are properties. Okay, I guess I think this program should probably be called Parameter Manager instead of Property Manager, but because I don't know what the heck properties really are. I don't see anything here that has to do with properties, okay? These are parameters, okay? But this program is called Property Manager, and that's what it does. Is it program, you can modify most of the scene's properties. See limitations below in bulk. Simply specify a config which contains a property. I'm wondering if like parameters was once called properties, because this is it. These are parameters. So if you want to move something, resize it, set it in a certain place, and set certain things in a certain place, and every time you come in, you want them set in a place. You don't have to, like all these chairs and moving them all into a certain location. Why they're using the word properties? Maybe this used to be called properties, and this could be an old program, but it still says it works with DAZ Studio 4.22, and it's not on sale right now, but as you know, we have this 70% off, and I got that in the 70% off thing. And then also then I had also eight tokens, so I got another 45% off. And I think I bought a new product, which actually gave me like another 20% off or something. So I bought this thing today for about like $4. Okay. And it's I think this is pretty cool. Point at, you got fit to. Those are all those are parameters. They're not properties, dude. So I'm not sure what's up with this. Why they're calling it properties. And maybe, if we look at this, maybe, let's see. Yeah, see, you want a little bit of this. Casey's head, the girl, okay, body. And then you can add them in a list. And then you can save them. It was a good buy. Yes, it certainly was, Art. Yes, it was a good buy. Selected children, only visible. Now, these here, I don't know of anything that's listed as properties, here. Let's go to the window, panes. And we go down to the P's, parameters, parses. Oh, and okay, property hierarchy. What's this? I didn't even know we had this. Okay, this is node properties, eyelashes, okay. So it's just, this doesn't make any sense to me at all, how this bones parameters. Okay, these are parameters. Okay, so I have to just do some work to figure out how to use that. But I just thought I would mention that it's something that I'm going to kind of be maybe teaching on and looking in. So add it to your list of things. Get it, okay? If you haven't made use of that sale today, look for it added into that list. And even if you can get it for 70% off and buy it for like $8, it might still be worth it to grab it, okay? And now we go back to this computer, and I already closed that down. So, all right, now, as you can see, now we got Art in here, so I'm going to kind of recap a little bit of what I did today. Art, I went in to here, into preferences, okay, and into content. And then you click down on this content directory manager, and you look in your DAZ and make sure you only have one listing in here of My DAZ 3D library. If you have more than one, you have to delete the incorrect ones, okay? And if you mess it up, it's not my fault. Yes, I told you to do it, but it's not my fault. You did it. So, but you have to make sure you delete the correct one, where your stuff is really located, and you can figure out where it's located by opening up your install manager, okay, and going into your install. We'll wait a moment there. Okay, now your poser formats, you're only supposed to have one listing of My DAZ 3D library there as well. That's unless you're like, you know, a really unless you're like a power installer where you install everything that you get by hand manually and you do all that, then you know what you're doing probably a lot more than what I know. But if everything you install, you just let the install manager install it and it installs it all in the same place, then you want to check here and make sure, because number one, and make sure you only have the correct and My DAZ 3D library with your drive path and the name, and the same drive path here for the poser and DAZ formats. And if you have any other My DAZ 3D library things here, you delete them, okay? And then you click accept, and then you click apply, and then you click accept. You can't click apply and then cancel. You have to click apply and then accept, and then you have to come in here to your go up here to smart content, go into your database. I explain all this in more detail at the beginning of the last video. But you go into the content maintenance. I'm going to leave that last video up. And then you go to export user data and reset database and click accept. And what it will do is it will save your setup, okay, all of your user, your favorites, your content, your favorites and your scripts, and your setup of your icons here. It will save them. So if you haven't saved them, if you like the way your DAZ is set up, you should at least, you know, come in here and export your user data at least every once in a while, especially when you do a bunch of changes to your setup here and your user data, and you add a bunch of stuff to your favorites, or you come in here and you go into your content library and do a lot with your categories, because it saves them also. So you want to go in there every once in a while and export your user data and click accept and let it export your user data. But what you do is you click export user data and reset database. If you find that there is an extra listing of My DAZ 3D content, if you find an extra one there and you have to delete it, then you want to come in here and click this and click that and click accept, and it's going to all of your content will disappear here. There'll be nothing left, okay? It will all be gone, all right? But then you come here and you go to Content DB Maintenance, and you click Reimport Metadata, and it's going to make you log back in, okay? And then it's going to take about 4 or 5 minutes to redo your entire database. And it doesn't hurt sometimes to do that, because when I got rid of those, what I had was I had a whole crap load of, where did my figures go? I had a whole lot of these duplicate icons, and they had like that DAZ Connect little symbol at the top, that little round thing, and they all want, and I had to always kind of look and say, oh gosh, don't click on that one because it's, now look how fast my library is now. See, it just goes like so smooth because I went through and I deleted those because it was looking in those every time it would look for one thing, it'd look in 3 different other locations, and it was doing that for 10,000 items. And so I got them, I went in and deleted those extra runtimes, and they won't necessarily show up here, okay? These are just the ones that you have kind of showing here. But they can still show up in your preferences, okay? In your content, they can still be here and not be here. All right? So so you want to make sure you don't have any extra ones in there. And this poser formats, now I only have this one here. And now there used to be something weird here. There was this like another other formats. Okay, so now this is all seems correct now. If I go into figures here, I think I've got a bunch of, these are our DAZ. These are poser figures, poser stuff. It was a poser runtime. So you could basically open poser and then add this poser runtime to your poser. And you'll have a bunch of your DAZ stuff that's usable in poser. So that's how that works. Just so you know, I think I own Poser 11, and they wanted an ungodly amount to upgrade to the next version of Poser, and I said, you know, I can't buy everything, you know, because you know there's certain things that I need and certain things that I kind of say, I don't think I better. It was like a lot, like they wanted like a couple $100 to go from version 11 to 12 or something. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. And also, I don't like the way that the poser models don't seem to have limits or something. And when you move their arms around, they just like twist in a knot, you know, and it's like, okay, I can't deal with that. I'm just so used to working with DAZ. So, all right, so this is our figure here. And now I have all of my, these are set up in the corner here. And these are my most used things. These are my figures. always start out. Now I'm going to save this guy, his head and body. Okay, he's a new character I just made. And I kind of like him. And he's got a new, I don't know, if I fix his eyes, maybe it'll save the shape of his eyes. Maybe it'll save save the size of his eyes and all, but we'll do that now. So I am now working with Control L. I am now working with a 4090. I sold both of my graphics cards. I sold them eBay. As soon as I put them on, people just bought them. And I sold 2 3090s, one 1080 Ti. I sold an NVLink bridge. I sold I sold the 1080 Ti. I sold, I'm selling a camera. I've got one thing left I'm selling. And there were a couple of other things that I sold, and they just sold. Oh, I sold some RAM. And okay, we're going to go 120 for this eye and this eye. I don't know why they got sized down. Oh, I think I messed with him with proportional. Okay, so he's probably now shorter than he's supposed to be. If I go here to proportional, that would be the right eye. We want the body here. Proportional height. Yeah, he's at 80. Let's go 100%. Okay, now they should. Now let's see what happens with the eyes. Okay, let's get rid of that. And let's now go to 120. Scale for that eye. 120. And we're going to zoom in, and now we're going to adjust them into the right place. All right. Okay, like that. And this has got to come over like that. Okay, that's comes over like this a little bit, and then we bring it out a little more. Oh. Now I have this program called, it's something about, it's a nudge. It helps you nudge things. And I want to really become proficient with that, but it's got a learning curve, like so much of DAZ does. Okay, this has got to go over here. Okay. All right, those eyes are okay. They don't look crossed or anything. So we select the eyes, and then we come back here to iris. Iris. And I think those are small enough. Okay, so now we go here into our, and he looks really good. Nice little figure. Well, are you going to render? Or are you just going to sit there kind of hiccuped? I don't think it's going to render. Okay, I might have to go back out and come back in. All right, something's up with my render settings. We'll go to, where is it? This? Render settings. Oh, those are eyelashes. No, it's one more of these. This one. No, I haven't learned these yet. Lashes. Might be turned off. Okay, one of these might be, it might be here. Like, I've got a couple of them. No. I might have turned them off. Okay, we'll just go to render settings. I'm still kind of in a 2000, okay. Progressive render. Go maximum samples, maximum time, turn that off. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, there, it just, maybe it was just too close, didn't want to focus. Something went gaga with the camera. Okay, his eyes still look too big. They still look too big. So I'm going to come here, eyes. General, okay, parameters, iris, and we're going to turn these off. We're going to go to parameter settings, use limits. You got to turn all three off. And this one, parameter settings, use limits. And then let's go to here. I can make them a little smaller. Let's see if that works. That's better. I'm not sure that they're right. And I would assume somebody's going to come out with some kind of app that you just run it and it sizes them, resizes the iris, makes everything right. Okay. you know, how big is the iris supposed to be? Well, you're supposed to change the iris depending on the lighting of the room. If they're in a dark room, then you have to make the iris bigger. If they're in a very bright environment, you make it smaller. That's kind of how you work eyes. So that's the kind of thing you think about. These eyebrows aren't bothering me, so they're not too bad. Neither, for some reason, the eyelashes don't bother me either. So this is my hair, I think. Let's find some hair here. I haven't done my hair yet. I just don't have all my hair in here. So, I don't know if this is okay. I always find the hair I want and then realize I don't have them selected. And so we go here. Okay, we'll just click on this one. Short cropped hair. Let's try this, see what it looks like. Probably, okay, yeah, this is one that, okay, only looks right at in certain scenes. It just doesn't look right here. I was just really disappointed with this hair. It works like really nice in some scenes, but it's like, what the heck? Z. It's like I've kind of gone over that subject before, where like 20 years ago they were making better looking hair than that. It's got all the features and it's fully featured hair, but it's just like, I don't know. All right, so it's just a major disappointment to me. Okay, so this is hair 1. Okay. What's this, like angel hair? Okay, well, the olive branch can go this thing. All right. Now, if we select the hair, we might be able to find, because the color's just not quite working with his dark eyebrows. All right. And when we go into filter by context, there it is. Materials. Okay, we got a lot of colors with this. Okay, we'll try this hair. I'm wondering if this hair, let's look at the surfaces, see what kind of hair this is. All right, this is just Iray hair. It might be dual lobe. Okay, the kind that you can't load in Blender. But you know, you can't fault DAZ for the dual lobe hair, because just because Blender hasn't caught up with dual lobe hair, because it's like DAZ is giving us ways to make the hair look really a lot better. Okay, we go here. Which one is this? Browse. Poses. Once again, we're back here. I forgot to select this. Those are the brows. Now we're poses. See, I haven't put enough poses in here as well, so, and this poses thing, okay, there. The poses thing here is, I could really end up with, okay, what's this? Okay, that looks nice. One of these is Beard. Beard. Thomas Beard. There we go. Now something made me think I should make him like really short into like a hobbit or something, or but we won't do that to him today. Yep, I'm still with Poser 11.2. It's nice to know I'm not the only one. And it's nice to know that you delve in Poser art. You and I have very similar things roads we travel. Very similar. And yeah, I have an open Poser. I don't even know if I have Poser 11 installed on my computer. See Poser. No, I don't even have it installed on my computer. I probably should, you know, and I probably should have my runtime hooked up to it, but the idea of modeling, of building scenes in Poser, it's I'm just not there. I'm not there right now. But maybe someday I might. I don't know. I might want to play around with it. So just getting the lights to work and getting the scene set up, it's very difficult. All right, so what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to save his shape, and we're going to call him Tyren. 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 Okay, we're gonna find we're gonna save his shape, not his pose, his shape. Okay, I guess so we go to my products. What was it? My formats here, and go to saved items. I think it's here, yeah, and then scene shape. Okay, add. Make sure he's selected. Shaping preset. Tyren, Tyren. And just a weird name that nobody would ever think of calling their figure. Tyren. And we save it. Save it. Okay, now we have Tyren here. Tyren. And then we can come to my shapes thing, which is this it? Skin shapes. Which one's shapes? This one. Nope. Okay, I have some problems here. I think one of my things is turned off. Skin. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of, we're going to go to Windows, Workspace, Customize, Toolbars, and I need one of these called Shapes. And I haven't got one, so we're going to go right-click, Add Toolbar, Shapes. Okay, and see if that works. Sometimes it doesn't. What if we try one here? Add toolbar, shapes. It'll let me do that. Okay, this toolbar can go bye-bye. And then we want another toolbar in here. Add toolbar, and we're going to call this one, what's the other? Render settings. We're going to join those together. And that worked, okay? So now I have some shapes, some shape things, okay, that go in here. Shapes. Where are they? Okay, they're in these listings here. I think they're in here. What's this? Most used, 5. And I think I've got maybe the VDB and Ghosts one is here, but my lighting isn't here now. Clothing, most used. Hair, shapes. Okay, and that goes into here. And you see where I have, like, if you want it to go above, you put your mouse above it and it puts it above it. If you want it to go below, you see, you put your mouse below. With shape, it's going to go in anyway, okay? But if you're putting a bunch of things in here, like a whole list of them, and like this says shapes 9 for that means Genesis 9 shapes. But if you can see where this skin, I have skin 1, skin 2, skin 3, you know, and if you want to put them in these are toolbars, okay? We're creating toolbars, okay? So now I just put that in there. Now this render settings, I have to find, there's my render settings, and I'm going to put that in here. And I want it to go below that, okay? So that's how you do that. And I think I only have one of them. Now I'm also going to add one called Ghost, VDB Ghost, we'll call it. We'll put it in here. Add toolbar, VDB Ghost. All right. And that didn't work, so we'll delete that. Sometimes they just don't want to go in there. Okay, so add toolbar. And that one worked, see? And you just got to make them work, and then we're going to put that below, even though it's going to go below because of that. But if I had like launch render settings 2, then I would put it in here, but make sure I'm putting it on the bottom so that it would go down under. Okay, and then I'm going to click apply. All right, and it just screwed all that up, but that's okay. And now you go to activities here, toolbars. Now I have, okay, they're not showing up here. So I'm going to click accept. Okay, and then we'll come back. All right, now I can take this. Watch how easy it is to just kind of squish them up. Squish them all over like this. Okay, now they're not showing up here yet. Okay, so I got to go back into my window, workspace, customize, and back into here, toolbars. And now you can see I've got VDB Ghost, but it says off. So if I right click, it says enable. Render settings is off. Enable. And shapes is off. Enable. Okay, apply. Accept. And then it throws these all off again. It does it every time. But you just slowly bring them in like that. And now I have my shapes. Okay. So now I can go and select Tyron. Okay, he's selected here. And I can go to my shapes. And I can go click here, add. Boom, open this assign action. Go to content, and there is Tyron. And now I can just, if I want to bring Tyron back and put him on a Genesis 9 figure, I just click on that and it works. Okay, so that's it. And now, okay, it looks like I have 2 render settings. I do. So I have to get rid of one of them. I'm not sure why I have to. Now there was another one I put in here also. That's okay, I have 2 render settings, but what about the VDB one here? This is where's my VDB? Sometimes these things just don't work right. HDRI. All right, what's wrong? Workspace, customize, toolbars, render settings. VDB Ghost. They're all on, but something's wrong here. As you can see, okay, what I'm going to do is we're going to close this down. We'll save this file, save as. This is Tyron. Save as, scene. This has made it like extremely easy for me to just assemble a scene really quickly and not be like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling down to find hair, to scrolling and scrolling this hair, that hair, scroll again, and I go and click hair and then it disappears and I have to go and click hair again and go back down through there and find another hair. It's like, no, I just click this and this is all my hair right here. Boom, 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 like through all the hair, and I can put and that's why I have so many hair here, because this is going to be full. I haven't filled them up yet, and it only take me about an hour or so to fill that completely. Like, look at these. These are all, everyone, there's like 9 times 3, 9, 18, 19, 21, 1, 2, 3. 27, I should know that. There's 27 HDRIs in each box, okay? And there's like almost 30 of them. So that's 30 times 27. That's a lot of HDRIs right at my fingertips right here, okay? And I just click and say, all right, he's going to be in a cyberpunk city, okay? Look at that, okay? See this? This is how quickly things happen, all right? This is how stuff happens. It's just amazing. You need to set your stuff up. It may seem hard, but you need to learn how to do this, okay? So I'm going to click Save. This is Tyron. Okay, I think we found his world. Okay, we're going to close this down. Deleting objects. And we're going to open that. Okay, we're going to get rid of this. Okay, product updates. Mode Savage. Don't even know what that is, but it's an update. It just came out. Oh, by the way, there was an update today for, remember that program where it cuts things? It's where you can cut geometry with it. And I was using sphere, like I was trying to fit a window and cut the window out of the sphere. Well, I talked with the PA who developed that program, and he says, now I know what you mean and everything, and it's downloading. Okay, so I hope this doesn't crash my internet connection. So he says, now I know what you mean. He says, I'm working on an update, and it will be ready soon. It's not Fluidos, it's not Parsis, I don't think. It's the one where you can chop pieces of it gives you like Boolean objects where you can chop another object out of another object. And I need to add that. Okay, I think that's actually in my, so we'll look at that. Okay, that installed, whatever that was. All right, so we're going to try this again. Maybe it will just fix. No, it's not fixing it. Render settings. Okay, there's one. And there's two. They're both identical. The only way to fix this is to get rid of them both and redo it. And maybe, just maybe, it might fix. Sometimes it just doesn't fix. And I have to come up with an entirely different name for, I can't use like VDB render settings or something. I don't know exactly, but let's go to customize. This isn't working. You can't delete it from here. Okay. Oh, well, you have to delete it from here. Remove item. Okay. And maybe it's because I try to do too many things at one time. Okay. So renders, you can't remove it from here. You could just disable it, I guess. Okay. Apply. Accept. Okay. We still have one here. Okay. This one says, okay. What is this? It's still here. Okay. What about VDB? Okay. This one's called, that's why it's called VDB Ghost. And that one says render settings. Okay. It's still here though, which is kind of weird. We just deleted it, remember? Are we going to close? No. Let's see what we have when we come back. So, yeah, this has changed like radical. You know, it's like, no, it's not disseminator, but that's a very, very good guess, Art. I'm sorry, I shouldn't leave it up in the air like that because what I'll do is I'll find it and I'll tell you. I'll find it right when I go right in because I believe it's up here in our window panes. Physio, is it? No, it's not that. Okay, window panes. It is called, there's a new, it's not Abbas. Abbas, I think, is the one. It's Gescon 2. All right, that's it. And this is the one where you can cut geometry out of another. I'd like to kind of just go right into it, start messing with it right this moment, but I can't because I have, okay, this says render settings. It's still here. Isn't that oh, okay. Because this is not render settings. This is actually part of this toolbar. Okay, so that's what's weird about that. Okay, so now I have, and this is shapes. Okay, so I have to go into this toolbar, and this one's going to be just called clothing, I guess. Shows up when you go to install. Yeah, that's okay. I'm kind of savvy with my email. So, but thanks for letting me know. I'm just kind of not too worried that people want to attack my email. I don't click on email that I don't really know. And you know what? Half the time I don't even read my email. So I don't have, I used to do it like a lot, but it's just an email now. Thank you, Art. That was very kind of you to let me know that. Yeah, well, you did fine. You're fine. And thanks for letting me know. I think about that when that comes up, but I just don't. I don't worry too much. That is my like out in the world like trash email. So I have about like 6 or 7 email addresses at least. Yeah, at least 6 or 7. Gmail, Hotmail. I have 5 emails with my ISP. I have Yahoo email. I have Outlook email. I have Hotmail, and I have 2Gmail email. Yeah, I could go on. So, and there are emails that I probably have that I don't even know I have. So I think I've got one with Facebook that I don't even know I have. But yeah, weird stuff like that. But all right, if we can resolve this issue, I've made it a little bit more complicated, but we're going to resolve it. Now, the problem is in this one of these. Okay, VDB Ghost is good. Most used body hair. Okay, one of these here, I'm going to find. Okay, that's the shapes one. And HDR visual. Okay, this one right here. Okay, this one I have to rename. It's going to be renamed. It's going to be clothing. If it will let me. Sometimes. Okay, it did. All right. Not receiving enough. Okay, so I might get kicked out again here. Remove item. Remove item. Okay. Apply. Accept. Okay, now let's see if I still have one here called clothing. Okay, I think I have to go back in. Let me know if we get crashed. I'm still broadcasting, but it says they're not receiving enough video. It's my internet connection tonight. But it's kind of weird. I just closed down the install manager. Now, I think I'm going to just try lowering my bit rate a little bit, okay, in my settings. And maybe I can jog it out of whatever it is. If I come in here, and I've got 40,000 kilobits. Let's go to 35. Apply. All right, select stream. Okay, it still says you're here. You said not receiving enough video, but I changed it. Settings. All right, now if I go to advanced, it says process priority high. Well, let's just go normal and see what happens when we do that. Okay. Maybe it's I'm not allowing it to have. Okay, so maybe it'll come back. All right, or I'll get kicked out and you just have to find me again. I'll be here. Okay, I'm going to come back. If I'm just all of a sudden gone, like in the middle of a sentence, because you know when I go out, I usually go out with a bang. All right. So if you don't hear that, then that means I'll be back. Okay. So would you like to save changes? No. All right. Let's wait a moment, see if we can get this to come back. And I have to find out how to turn nudity off in the store. So at least if I can turn it off there, it's somewhere in my settings. Okay, so we're going to go back in. I think I've got this almost fixed. What's this now? Those are this. Okay, now the way to fix it is to go into here, workspace, customize, because the things get turned off. And okay, so we've got VDB Ghost. Okay, now one of these, okay, that's clothing now is there. We can go here to advanced, toolbars, clothing, turn that on, enable. Okay, apply, accept. You have to like do things one at a time here. This is very, very touchy, but once you get it, it's like so awesome. Okay, the VDB Ghost. All right, now see if anything else is turned off here. Okay, VDB Ghost is off. We'll enable that. And all right, all of these tools is not, that's not one of mine. Okay, apply, accept. All right, there's my render settings. That's back. Okay, this one is clothing. All right, and shapes. All right, that's the shapes one. See, each one of these is its own toolbar, even though like right now, like my shapes, I only have one shapes window, but I made it its own toolbar because eventually I'm going to want to add another shapes thing. I'm going to come in here and say new, and it's going to be shapes 2. Okay, and then I'll put it in here, and there'll be, instead of one shapes, that I'll be able to jump to the next and the next and the next, and these are all my figures that I've created. And there's Tyron. Okay, so I could go back and like load. I could just put a Genesis 8 figure in, come here, click on Tyron, and boom, they're Tyron. Okay, one click, and all of those different faces in the body that I gave Tyron will all be in him. We're going to reload that scene in a moment. Okay, now it says we got an excellent connection. Maybe it was because I just, at this point, I lowered my bits a little bit. And that may be enough to have kind of, because sometimes it says it's not receiving enough data. And it may not be because my bits are too low. It's because they're too high and they're clogging up and getting kind of like, and it's like messing up the line. So that's a possibility. So we may have fixed it. It's now saying excellent. So, and I went down to 35, and I don't think that changed the way I look right now. I don't think it made the stream like, well, my microphone looks wonderful. So, yeah, I don't know if my camera is focusing on that. It says, wow, what a nice microphone. It's like, what's that blob behind it? I don't know. Hi, I'm a person. So, yeah, so, all right, so we're back here. And we go here. Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes I'm not just like this dry person who talks like this for like 4 hours while I'm fixing a scene. All right, so now we're gonna go. Okay, lashes. Look how many eyelashes I've. Now now I found today. I found. Okay, this eyelashes 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so these eyelashes. Oh no, eyelashes. Eyebrows. We'll go back, and where's my eyebrows? And you see, I have like, look how many eyebrows. This brows. Brows 2. Brows 3. Brows 4, brows 5, and then these brows are like, those were all the brows that come with the Essentials product, the Genesis 9 Essentials, but then these are all the brows that come with all my Genesis 9 figures, which is really, 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 really cool. And there's even more. That's 7. Look how many brows come with the Genesis. There's Cade's brows, Aiden's, Nathan's. That's funny. I know. I could get back to my monotone with my stone face. So these, look at all the brows that I can just kind of experiment with, okay, until I find the right brows. Look how many there are. Okay, so, and why that just jumped off the ledge right there and disappeared, I don't know. I've probably got my, okay, we go back to brows 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so brows 1, something's wrong with it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, this is the problem here, because this isn't supposed to be there like that. All right, so this is the low card. These are probably the most important brow that I have here. So, but we'll take this brow. Okay, let's go to, this is brows 2 is got the wrong link here. So if I go to 3, 4, 5, 6, let's see if we got a place to put it at the end. Okay, it's going to have to go on 8 brows. Okay, to 2, to 1, okay, and 2, and now we go here. Click this. cut, and go here to 7, 8, and then I activate that. Okay, come here, paste, very easy. Now I'm going to have like that's probably the best brow of all of them, and it's going to be like way over here, but I'll learn it. Okay, so now I go back, and now I can click here, click activate it again, and this would be, so I need it to go, say, to browse 1, okay, assign action, visual menus, okay, where is browse? Look how many of these, okay, browse, that would just be browse. Okay, and we're done. Okay, and then this goes to browse 8, that goes to 2. See, this is browse 1, it's just browse. It's usually put a 1 after that, but it's just browse, it's just browse 1. And then it goes, this goes to browse 2, and that goes to browse 8. And there's my other brow. Okay, so yeah, this is, all right, so we have all, now what I can do, this kind of looks messy, but what I do is I click that, and I just push these all in like that. All right, now I can move them around. What you do is you pull it down and push it up in and move them around like that. I can order them the way, like in a progression. Okay, now I put an eyebrow card in there. Not sure why I put, oh, that's because I clicked on that eyebrow and there was no figure. All right, so now this is hair. Okay, so there's something still missing. It's my VDB one, okay? And there's another one too. There was there's clothing. Okay, let's make sure we have these things. That's clothing. Now I like my clothing one to be right after my figure, I think. Then hair, yeah. So I put my figure in, put some pants on them, okay? Then from there we can worry about other stuff. Usually I like, after that, what is it? I like to put a pose, but maybe it's hair, but usually I like to put a pose on. Hair should be kind of towards the end because it can slow down your character. So skin, and we got hair, body, eyes, if I want to change their eyes. Look at this. I got all these eyes. Boom. Just they're right. This is why I do this. Or I can, if I kind of learn which ones are which, they don't like, they kind of like, some of them, like they don't pile right up, but they usually, like, sometimes I'll have to click 3 times to get them to all close, even though I might go through 20 different screens. I might have to click. I kind of wish they'd fix that, and it's something I will address. I'll probably talk with the PA who makes that and say, hey, and I might actually make a video of it and say, look what happens, okay, when I do this, because it's not refreshing and saying and closing. It's not, okay, so, but that's another thing here. Okay, this is shapes. Okay, now my shapes, I kind of want them in here early, like maybe right after my, this is clothing. So put my figure in, put some pants on them, then maybe use one of my shapes, or at that point I might just select the figure and come into parameters and work on and create a new shape and then add it into here. Okay, so this is, now the ones that don't have an arrow next to it only have one folder. Like this one has 4. These are figures, and these are just Genesis 9 figures, but really now I'm kind of in this mode where I just use the Genesis 9 figure. I just put that gender neutral figure in the scene. That's how I start a scene, is always with that. I don't use another figure. I might use their skin. I might use their eyes. I might use the hair and the body hair that comes with them, but I don't use the figure. I might use some of their morphs and put it on that Genesis 9 figure, but I always, it's just, there's something about starting with that gender neutral figure and turning it into something new. That's me. That's the way I am. I don't want Michael in my scene. I want a little bit of Michael, and I want a little bit of Zack, and a little bit of Roy, and a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. And I learn, and if it doesn't work well together, then you can't use them together. You just have to go somewhere else with your shape and with your body, with your face. Okay, but I haven't found any problem mixing faces together. Okay, so now let's now there's something missing here. I think it's okay. My render settings here, hair. Okay, there's beard. There should be body hair also. Let's see. Okay, there's hair body. I'd rather that be body hair, but okay. Eyes. Okay. There's something missing. It's okay. It's my ghost light and my VDB and ghost light. Okay, so I have to put them back in. Okay, they're the only thing missing right now. See, because I had them since there were only one of them, I had them. I used to have these all in one toolbar, but I found that I like them in separate toolbars. Okay, because if they're all in one toolbar, then they're kind of lined up in a row, and like all of these, you got like 6 of them, and then you got 4 of these, and they're all in a row. But if you have them in a separate toolbar, okay, then you can do this with them. And like my HDRIs, look at how many I've got of them. And so each one, and then if I need to expand and add another one of these in here, this is what I'll learn these. These are my poses. I'm definitely going to be expanding this. This is probably going to have as many in it as this, okay? Because I have like 9,000 poses or something that all work with Genesis 9. I have 9,000 Genesis 9 poses. So I'm not going to be able to put all of them in there, but I'm going to be able to put a bunch of them in there. So I can just come through like this and go through my poses and go boom, 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 and say, okay, what do I want? This is the way I like to do stuff, okay? So 3. It's usually 3, okay, that you have to click it 3 times to make it go away. But if you go really slow through them, sometimes it doesn't happen. I don't know. Okay, so I'm not sure what causes that. But all right, so we've got one more thing to do here, and then we're going to go back to work here. So customize, okay. We're going to go into toolbars. Now, obviously, okay, this VDB ghost, it might just be turned off. Okay, it says it's on, but I don't think it is. Okay, what? Maybe I'm just not seeing it here. Hair. I think I'm going to have to delete that out and do it again. Yeah, I'm going to have to delete that out. Okay, so it's just... This is very temperamental, but once you kind of learn how to kind of respect it, okay, so we're going to remove item, apply, accept. All right, and it messes these up, but all you got to do is kind of go like that. And they all, so you want to keep them to this side, and you don't want to like line them up here, okay? Because it's just harder because you can just grab this and squish them all over that way, and you can't do it that way because this is a toolbar also, and it would cover up over all this. Now, if you did squish them over this way like this, okay, you could use your items here by just going like that, okay? And then you have, so you just have to click on that. And then you have all of your stuff. You'd be one click, okay, to get to your stuff. And then you could move all of this. But what happens is this one opens up, okay. It opens up. But you never know how many. You kind of have to really work to kind of push them all over like this. Okay, but okay. Let's try again. But then it'll squish there, and then you just need your, but that's not the way I do it. I move them all over like this way. Okay, that's not what I want to do. It's kind of difficult to do this, but You have to keep them along the line. You can't hold them up or down below, or else it tries to make another row of them like this. You see, where now I have another row. So, but it's not that hard to do this. Okay, so, and now it's two things. We're working with this program, which is our visual menus, and we're working with Daz's built-in toolbar feature. Okay? So it's two things. This visual menus, you learn how to use visual menus. You go to the product page, and there's a video that shows you how to use visual menus, and then you incorporate that knowledge into creating toolbars. Now I'm going to create a toolbar right now, and what you do is you come in here and you create new, and you give it a name. As you can see, like I've created all these, and if I go new like this and I say, okay, we're going to go shapes 2, okay? And so I click shapes 2 and accept. And then I always use this because it has the most grids, okay? 3, 9, and click accept. Now I have a new shapes here, 2, and I can add that to my shapes 1 up here. Where's my shapes? This one, okay? And so, all right, but let's go here and go to window. Let's figure out my VDB problem. Workspace, customize here. And now we're going to right click here and we're going to add toolbar, see if it'll let me one. VDB ghost. All right, and it let me. Okay. It's sometimes, if it just says, if you put that in and you click apply and it goes back to the word toolbar, then you have to just add it in somewhere else, okay? Because it's touchy about where it lets you put it in. So you just then right click and put it in here then, okay? Now I go here and I have to find my VDB ghost. Okay, these are all of, now you see I went into this custom thing up here. This is where all of my little toolboxes and each one of, some of these have a whole bunch of them in it. This is where they're saved in this custom part. So what I do is I go down to the bottom because it's easier because it's a long list of all the stuff I have in my favorites and scripts and all these 3-digit time, the BJ camera manager and all kinds of, anything that gets listed in here. Now, sometimes it happens at the top. That's my shapes 2. All right, so I'll put that in here, shapes. No, this would be, okay, so we'll put this in. All right, we're going to open shapes. Remember, okay, actually, I want to rename this if I can. I don't know that I can. Edit custom action. Yeah, I can. Shapes 2. We're just going to, okay, shapes 2, 9. Okay, we'll put that here. Now, it might complain that I did it this way. All right, but that's shapes 1. Okay, so all right, so remember, if I want it to go down below, because this is shapes 1, and then this would be shape, if I wanted to put it above it, then I have to put it like above the words, like in this bar, but above. But if I want it to go down below, I go down kind of below the thing. Now if I mess up, I can pick it up and still like put it above. Okay, or below, but what you can't do is move it from here up into here. Okay, you have to just delete it and then drag it over and put it in there. Okay, so this is shapes 1 and this is shapes 2. Apply, accept. Now when I go to my shapes thing, which I think is this one, and it's not showing here. I'm not sure why. Let's close this down. No. Wait a moment here. Wait. It might be because I changed the name of it. It's very picky about how it works. You'll find that it just doesn't always do what you want it to do. So this is my shapes thing, and it's not working. So it's because I didn't do it right. So okay, maybe I put it in the wrong place. I don't think so. Okay, so scripts. Okay, okay, maybe. Okay, it's still here. This is my shapes thing, and it's just not showing here. So something's wrong. Okay, so what I'll do is I think I can come in here. Gonna call it a night. You have a wonderful night, Art. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thank you very much. We're going to call the shapes. Okay, I have to get rid of that one. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. It's very nice to have you here. That's okay. Look, this shapes too. Okay, see, it didn't change it. That's the problem. So we're going to just delete this. And then we'll go new shapes 2.9. Okay, accept. You have to name it right from the get-go. Okay, in this thing here. Okay, we're gonna close this. Take care. You have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I thought I would sing that. All right, all right. So we go to Window, Workspace, Customize. Okay, and we're going to go here now to Toolbars, and there's our Shapes toolbar. It says it's on. VDB Ghost, okay, Shapes. Now we're going to remove this, okay. And then we're going to go here to custom to all of my original stuff. All this other stuff is all DAZ stuff that you can put into toolbars. Quick launch. Okay, there's our shapes 2. All right, so I'm going to put this down below the word so it will go there. So there's shapes and there's shapes 2.9. Apply. Accept. I'm just going to go out for now. And it's not here. It's just not showing up. Let's go out of here. Would you like to save changes? Okay. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in here, Workspace, Customize. We're going to just delete this toolbar. Shapes, remove item. Okay, and we're going to try this lashes. We'll try it here. Add toolbars. Shapes. Now you see it said new toolbar. That didn't work then. Okay, remove item. Okay, we'll go with browse. Add toolbar. Shapes. That didn't work, so remove that. See, it's temperamental, okay? We'll go with clothing. Right click. Add toolbar. Shapes. Now that didn't work. Okay, we're going to call it morphs. We'll put it in hair. It just doesn't like that word anymore, okay? Okay, so add toolbar. Okay. There it is, morphs. And then we're going to go and put our shapes in there. And we go here to custom. And we have to go down and then up. It's quicker this way. Okay, there's shapes too. So we're going to put that in there. And then we're looking for our other shapes. So I've set this up so that these can grow and get larger with more and more items in them. The other shapes is somewhere in here. So I have one more. Okay, there's shapes 9. Okay, now I want this to go above it. Okay. And then we're going to apply, accept. Now it's not going to show up here yet. Why there's a little space here, I don't know. Okay. I don't like that. Okay, I guess that's okay. All right. Oops, let's just put that back in there. All right. Now we can go back to Window, Workspace, Customize. And now we can turn on this toolbar, which is Morphs. It's off, so we're going to enable it, apply, accept. And now look what we have. We have this and now I can expand my shapes. Now what I do is I come in here and I want it to look like that same style. And so we go here down here and I think, do I have this here? Okay, so what I have to do is I have to go and open this one, go here, edit style, and save this shapes. Okay, accept, accept. Okay, close that. Now when I go into here and click this and edit style, down at the bottom I'm going to have shapes, and you notice how it just switched. So it's the only thing it doesn't do is this window size, and I like mine a little bit larger so I can see the pictures. Accept. Okay, and now we have 2 of them that are pretty much the same. Okay. Okay, it won't show that color up there until I close out of DAZ and come back, and then it will refresh that up. And so now if I close that, and now if I open that, it will open in that place. Okay, and then I can go here to Shapes 1, go here, and this is, we're going to say assign action to shapes, be in the S's. Shape 9. Okay, because this is, okay, now that's the wrong one. Okay, shapes 9. That's actually got to go to, both of them have to go to shapes 2. Okay, assign action. This one here, okay, so, and this one here, assign action would go to shapes 2. All right, and then this one would go to shapes 1. And this one. Okay, and now I can jump between them. All right, or back. Okay. All right, so I have one more left to do, and then we're going to go and work on our guy here. Okay, so now I can just, again, kind of pull these over and squish them all in like that. And I have one more I'm going to add, and that's pretty much all I've kind of thought up of wanting to put in here. Now, if I want to line the whole side up here with toolbars, I can do that too. But the thing is that, like with this, look how many icons I can put in this one little box. And then I have this box, and these are all most used utilities and all. It's amazing. So I mean, it's like, if do I really need to line them down the side, or can I just put more boxes in here like I have with this? These are my HDRIs. See, so this is gonna be enough here, And I've still got a bunch of room for other categories of things. Like this is my most used. This is figures. This is clothing. Now, I've only got one thing of clothing because I'm not going to put my clothing up in here. I have too much clothing. I've just decided that if I need clothing, I'm going to go into my wardrobe and look around. Okay, there's no now, but HDRIs, they're all interspersed and they're all in around here and there and here and there, and I just don't like the way they're set up. So at least I want a bunch of them here so that I can just boom put a sky in. Okay, so I got one more thing to do, and that's my VDBs, and I just got to turn them on, I think, now. So we go to Windows, Workspace, Customize. Now, I think I've got a VDB one in here. VDB Ghost. Okay, so I have to populate this one. Customize, we'll see. Maybe it won't work. I might have to give it a new name. Okay, so we go down to the bottom again, then scroll up. Okay, so we're looking for my VDB Ghost, and I think I just have one of them for now. Might have two VDB Ghost pages that I've created. And they're already linked inside. Hello, Javier. How are you? Welcome. Welcome to the live tutorial today. Welcome, welcome. I hope you are well. There's one. I think I only have one of these. So we are setting up toolbars today so that things are very easy to get at. Apply activities. Are these turned on? Are the VDB Ghosts enable the toolbar? Apply, accept, and where's my VDB Ghost? I think that's it right there. That is it. Okay, how are you? We're about ready. I'm about ready to kind of tie this up, and then we're going to work on something else. But okay, see, that's not my VDB. That's my VDB Ghost. That's not the right toolbar because they're not in there. So I think I made a second one. So we're going to go to Window Panes. No, Workspace. Okay, and here, Toolbars, VDB Ghost. Well, that's terrible. We got to find the right one. That's like another one that I made to add in. All right, so we got to find the original one with all of my stuff in it. What's nice is it doesn't forget the links to other things, but you kind of have to name them what you want from the beginning. You can't go in and changing names like I tried to do there. Sometimes you can get away with it. Usually you can't. Okay, now this one looks like the one I just did. Okay, that one's VDB and Ghost. Now there's another VDB one here somewhere. Clothing, hair, beard, body, shapes. There it is. And I want that one to be number 1. Okay, and this VDB Ghost, I'm going to just delete. Remove item. Okay, and we'll apply, accept. Okay, now that's pink. Okay, I'm going to go in and actually delete that because I want the next time I put one of these in, it's going to be VDB Ghost 1 and not the same name. So we're going to go into, we can do it through here also. I think I can delete it through here as well. Would be at the V's, VDB Ghost. Why do I have 3 of them here? What is this? Okay, I have another one that's got to go in there. Okay, I think what I did, I think these are the same things. Yeah, they are. So what we're going to do is going to get rid of this. We're going to delete that. And delete that. And when I go to make VDB ghost, delete. We are working, Javier. I'm not sure how to say your name. It's a beautiful name. Gallardo. Very beautiful. Very, very nice name. Thank you for coming in. Are you a Daz Studio designer? So, okay, if I go new, and we'll go VDB, and we'll go VDB and ghost. These are ghost lights. Ghost 1, accept. And then always pick the largest grid I can. VDB and ghost 1. Okay, now we close this. We got it made. All right, it's made. We go here, and we go here. Make sure we have our style saved. Down at the bottom. Okay, we don't. So we'll say save this. Hairstyles on filament. Sorry, my English. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Even if your English is bad, we love to hear from you, okay? This would be VDB. And okay, are you trying to like make your final render in Filament? Is that, or are you going to eventually render in Iray? Because I mean, it doesn't really matter as long as it kind of looks okay in Filament for working hairstyles on Filament, because you really want to. You just want to focus on how nice it looks in Iray. Unless you're doing, unless you are like making animations in Filament, because, or rendering in Filament because it's faster and your computer isn't very powerful. Then I would just say use your eye. You want to use your Filament. You want to use your Filament. You know, you create, come up into here and create. You want to add your Filament draw options, and then you just want to learn those options the best you can. And there are products. Okay, there's a product. Filament's called Filament Hair, okay, and realistic hair shaders for Iray and Filament, okay, and you have beautiful skin for Filament. So they didn't make they made enough. There are a few other plugins, I think, for hair with Filament, for making hair with Filament. So if you want to work with realistic hair for Filament, this would be the product, I believe. Because there are special shaders for Filament. I would assume this is Filament. These are Filament renders. Yeah, I'm not positive. This looks like Iray here, but I'm not positive. Yeah, so this product, you just wait until it goes on sale. But these are realistic hair shaders for Iray and Filament. And so it says wavy hair base shader presets for Iray, 232 straight hair base shaders for Iray, 232 wavy hair base shaders for Filament, and 232 straight hair base shaders for Filament. Apparently, you're trying to use Filament because it's so much faster to render, and you're probably a very good animator, and you're using Filament to animate because you can render like 30 frames per second, like very, very fast. Render your animations very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. So this would be what you want. And I would look around because there are other Filament. If you look up Filament, you will find, okay, you got 3D Light and Iray to Filament, okay? So this converts all of your scenes to Filament. And then you got Filament Pro lights and rendering. Now, I didn't purchase this. I believe I'm almost positive. Yeah, this is a RiverSoft and SickleYield. Okay, of course it says Rizzy. Okay, beautiful skin for Filament. Now, I own this one, interior lights. And I kind of, at one point, I said, why am I buying all this Filament stuff? I don't render in Filament. Because I'm looking, okay, YouTube's not receiving enough data, so I'm not sure what's up with my I'm going to have to probably call my cable company and have them reset my cable line or something. Something's not right. Okay, we're back. Yes, they 3D Light made shaders. Yeah, see this program right here, it takes a scene like it takes your whole scene and converts the scene to Filament. Okay, so that all of the textures look right. Let's see what this is. So yeah, you want to go into the Daz store and look up Filament, okay? And detailed users, man, the Rizzy 3D Light and Iray to Filament script is an incredibly quick way to prepare your scenes for the new blazingly fast Filament renderer in Daz Studio. The new Filament render is a fantastic addition. However, old scenes designed for 3D Light and Iray can be difficult to render Filament with lighting issues, either washed out or dim because of missing emissive lights or various material difficulties. The Rizzy 3D Light and Iray to Filament script sifts through your scene and prepares it quickly for Filament. Wow, so it does the whole scene. Takes your this product is what is for you. Okay, if you love working in Filament, this is product. Now, I would say once it's converted all these things in the lights and fire and all that stuff, it may not render so quickly anymore. Because I mean it's figuring volumes, it's figuring ghost lights, replaces ghost lights with point lights, add flame lights, add point lights to, yeah. So there's some really interesting stuff here. Just look up Filament in the Daz store, and you'll find that you have a bunch of stuff here. Fire for Filament, okay? Rigged shadows for Filament, okay? I'm not sure what that is. Atmospheres for Filament, and this is real hair shaders. This comes with 230 some hair shaders that you can put on. You put it on that, you know, either strand based or your mesh based hair. I'm not sure exactly, but you probably both. You have glass for Filament, okay? So that because glass isn't going to come out right. And your HDRIs work, but you just have to change the the exposure through the filament thing. Fire for filament. Okay, so I bought a bunch of them. In fact, I own this hair shader. I've never used these. I've never used them because Iray is just Iray and the PBR. Yes, it takes forever to render, but atmospheric blur for filament. Yeah, I use Filament for one thing because it's the only render mode that lets me see where I can see the background, my HDRI. Okay, this is my ghost, so I'm going to add one more ghost, and then I'm done with this. So, but yeah, I admire people who use Filament because I know that they're probably, I bet you're in college and I bet you are an animator. And I bet they are teaching you some massive stuff. You're going to be a great animator, I bet. Because that's what those schools down in Chile and South America, they have a lot of animators down there, a lot of 3D people. Amazing. So we're going to put this here, accept, and now we have two of these. Then I can open this, go here, edit style. Now I'll have two of these and I have my VDB ghost. It turns that pink because I saved it, accept. Oh yeah, one more thing to do, edit style, resize the window a little bit. 0.5, accept. Okay, and I'm going to move this over here just like that because when I close it, it remembers where I had it. So this one comes up there. And now I can change this. This would be the VDB ghost. Well, I think one, or was it one? Down in the V's, I guess. VDB ghost 1, accept. And this one would go to VDB ghost 1. And then this one would go to VDB ghost regular. And this one would go to VDB ghost. So they'll toggle between them. And now I can add a bunch more VDBs and ghost lights and anything. Very cool. So it just gives me another one now. So I just wanted to kind of show you how you can. Now this will turn, when I close out a DAZ and come back, it'll be pink. Okay, so that's the color I've chosen for those, I guess. So this is it. These are pretty much, now I'm going to rearrange them a little bit. Like I'm going to want my render settings. Which one's the render settings? If it worked, where's my render settings? Okay, I don't know my render settings. Maybe I didn't turn them on. Okay. I don't think I did. So we got one more to turn on. Okay, tools. Okay, Windows, workspace, customize. Where are my render settings? Okay, I don't have one for it yet. I got to make another, because we're just going to call it render. We'll put it with skin, add a toolbar, render. Renders. No, that didn't work. Remove item. Called beard. Add toolbar. Renders. That worked. Apply. Accept. Okay, now maybe I can come back in here. Workspace. Customize. Back here. Renders. Custom. Down to the bottom first, then scroll up. And we're looking for my render. Render. These ones appear when they are placed in. They're not like in alphabetical order or anything. They appear when you created them. Where's my render ones? It's up here. There it is. Render. Okay, apply. Now if I come in here, maybe I can turn this on. There's renders, enable toolbar, apply, and there's my renders. Okay, so that's all of them. Now what I do is I bring this over like this. I'll probably have more renders in here. These are like, I can just click on them and it changes my render. Like this is 16:9, 2000, infinite time. It'll just keep rendering and rendering and rendering until I stop. This just changes any render to infinite time without without changing the resolution or bit or the with the resolution or the ratio ratio. Yeah, so it's just render settings that you can save, and I can bring them in here, and you save your render settings. I save them here, render settings, and then you set your render settings, and then you come in here and add, and you can create the render settings here in your content library. This is a folder that I put in here, and I have all of my saved stuff. Figures, scene subsets, materials, poses, I created all these folders, and they're all above my DAZ 3D library. They're not in my DAZ 3D library, so that I know where they are, you know. It's like DAZ has it tries to put them in your local folder, and I don't know where the heck that's, but I don't like them there. I like having my own folder, so if something happens to my DAZ 3D library, I know where all of my stuff is, okay? So all I have to do is add this back to DAZ. All right, so we're going to go File. All right, so they're here now in my render settings, and I want that last anyway. That's like the last thing I do is set my render settings. Not really, because sometimes I like to do quick renders. I'll change the render setting. Like I'll make it 1,000 while I'm working on my project. I'll just come in here and say I want it 1,000. And then when I go to render at final, I'll go 16:9 by 2,000, depending. If I make some really weird render setting, then I'll just go in and save it, and then I'll have it, and I'll be able to put it in here and add more render settings. So this one's 4,000, 16:9, 4,000 infinite time. It'll just keep rendering and rendering and rendering until I stop it, kind of thing. This is 8,000, okay? So, this one is 13,000. This is 13K render. If I want to render something big enough to put on a bedspread, well, that's 13K, okay? So there you go. Those are render settings. So this is like massive, okay? It'll take you, if you start on this project, you'll be so excited while you're doing it, okay? I've detailed this in the last 4 or 5 videos, okay? I've come back to this whole project, and it's grown. So what you want to do is watch the videos backwards, okay? Because I've learned stuff. That's what you do on my channel. If you want to binge watch my channel, watch it backwards, okay? Don't go to my very first video and start watching like from 5 years ago, okay? Or 4 years ago, because I didn't know anything back then. All right, so you want to watch from the current videos back, okay? So unless you want to have a good laugh, watch some of the early stuff, and see somebody who's just no idea what they're doing, frustrated as heck. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to close this out because okay, you also have wet body for Filament, so you can you have all of this stuff, but once you add all of these things, once you add lights and glass and fire and rig stuff, guess what? You've got Iray. So, and it's just every time you add a new thing to Filament, it's going to just ghost lights and atmospheres and volume. It's just going to eventually become Iray. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm that wrong. Okay, there's just, if there was a magic bullet, Iray would be using it. Okay, so that's my opinion, and I might be wrong, like I said, but my advice is get out of Filament as soon as you can. Okay, and go get into Iray. All right, Iray and PBR textures and your Omni hair. Okay, it's like sometimes when you go to school and all, the teachers they're kind of they're lost in time because they learned from a textbook that's 4 years old or something, and I'm not criticizing them because it's still good to learn that stuff. It's like learning a programming language that is kind of dead and nobody uses it anymore, like HTML. I think now they use like something Web 2.0 or something. I don't know, but it's just that because it allows me to see my HDRI, and I can't see my HDRI in texture shaded mode, but Filament lets me see it. And so then I can rotate the HDRI and see where the sun is and all, and that's it. That's the only thing I use Filament for, only. But it's very, very valuable in that particular, because trying to move that HDRI when I have an entire scene with ultra scenery and several characters and a house and a lake and all this other stuff all in one scene, and trying to move the HDRI to get the light right, when I can just go into Filament and set it. Okay, so now these are all frozen. They're locked right there, and they're going to be just there for me to use them. See, and now I showed you me doing like an inventory with them, okay? And adding more icons and arranging them, going in, creating more of these. And this is just two things, like I says. It's visual menus. It's a program you buy in the DAZ store called Visual Menus. And it's using visual menus with the DAZ toolbar system, okay? And so I can just put my figure in. I can put clothing instant, like just some pants on, like real quick, something on real quick. Then I can come in here and I can add hair. I've got like all of these different things of hair. Look at how many things of hair. And each one of these has 9, 10, 18, 19, 27. Each one of these has 27, things of hair in them. Well, actually 26, 25 things of hair. And this is all geared around dressing a Genesis 9 figure. Okay, so I'm going to open up this figure here with what happened. Okay, Tyron, would you like to say changes? No. Okay, so this is the guy I made just a little bit earlier today. We got Tyron. I think he's almost ready to render. Just, it's like, all I had to do is put that HDRI in, and it's like, wow. Okay, so there it is. Now my camera got moved. Look at that. Okay, what's the right angle? I think somewhere in here. There it is. Let's put some, okay, now I think my clothing here. See, I don't have to kind of like go really looking. They're just right here. Jeans. Construction worker jeans. Pop culture. And we're done. Okay, so it's just like that easy. I didn't have to go into go down to my thing, scroll down, and then say, oh, I got to be in files, and then wait for files, and then I click, and then I type a word, and it doesn't type right into the type thing. I type jeans, and I type jeans again, and I type jeans, and finally it goes through the jeans. And then I have to click filter by context and, or that kind of stuff. It's just, and I accidentally click out or I say, oh, I'm not clicked on Genesis 9, and it like reshuffles everything, and I have to go back down through to wardrobe again, type jeans. And, yeah, and it's just like, no, they're right there. Okay, the swimsuits gone, swim pants are gone. Now I'm set to render at 1,000. I didn't have to go into render settings. I just clicked that one thing and it changed all of my render settings. Now I did have to create those render settings and set it, but now I don't have to go in and do it all the time. So this is it. Okay, so now I can tell by this. All right, that's kind of loud. Windows. Okay, volume mixer. Let's turn this down for a moment. All right, that's better. Okay, he needs some, see, when you render things large like that, kind of, now I can go in here and say, well, let's render it at 2,000. I think that was at 1,000. We are rendering now on a 4090. Yeah, I sold my two 3090s and bought a 4090. Okay, so this was for, okay, let's go. Would you like to cancel this render? Yes. Okay, now we go here to back to here. Let's render him at 4,000. Okay, boom. It's just like I didn't have to go and click on the menu, go in there, click on render settings, go into the editor and type it. I just boom. I'm ready to render at 4,000, okay? It just lets me look at this scene and say, is there something, are his hands not right in the back, or, okay, see, it lets me look at this up close. His eyes look good, his beard looks good. Okay, his pants aren't quite wrapped around him. Okay, so I might want to squeeze them a little bit more. But they're okay. They're just not wrapped around him right. Okay, so his hand, you can't really tell. So is it going through him or not? I don't know. I'd have to look around the back. The shadows look like okay. So the sub D looks good. All right, his hair looks good. The lighting looks realistic. Okay. So we can now, what I can do now is put some body hair. Okay, so one of these is body hair. I haven't learned them yet. So beard. But I'll learn them. Lashes, skin, hair, body. Okay, so we got to go back here. Select him. Is this it? Body, yeah. Boom. I didn't have to look for that. I didn't have to go to hair, type in body hair, or go down to the body hair, and then look through, scroll down through. I just, boom, it's right there. Okay, it's putting it on his body right now. Okay, there's that. Save that. Now what I'm going to do with his jeans is I'm going to just shrink them a little bit. Parameters. We're going to scale them down. And then they'll auto fit. Okay, now I'm going to put a camera in the scene. Create. Camera. From this, and then I have most used. Lock the camera. That was just as quick as could be. Now I can move in a little bit closer to his jeans here. Now I'm going to scale these down a little more. Okay, jeans. Let's select the jeans, not the camera. All right, and watch what happens when we bring these jeans in. See, the auto fit just kind of, the smoothing just pushes them out again. Now let's see. Let's go into here. I might have poke through though. No, it looks good. No, we do have poke through. See? So I can make them smaller like this, and look, the back looks terrible. So what I'm going to do is scale them some more. Okay, the back, just look, okay, his hands are not going through, they look fine now. So what we do is I don't think I can move them. No, so what we got to do is go to Mesh Grabber. Mesh Grabber. We're going to go to 12. That's not enough. Have you seen the games that look like The Sims called Inzoi? Specifically, its texture quality. Inzoi. In game. Okay, this looks pretty good. What I'm going to tell you, it's a life simulation game where you can continuously experience new stories through various occurrences. I will tell you, Javier, that you have to be careful because things 3D can trick games, and like, you know, Unreal Engine, they can trick you into thinking that these things are like very realistic, but they're not. Okay, when you actually look up close at their face, you have to scrutinize them. You have to scrutinize these games because they say that they're very realistic, okay? And they look realistic. They trick you into thinking. But you have to think, if you could make something look realistic and just make a game out of it, and you know, then Daz, why would it take 2 hours to render one frame in Daz? Okay, they're not realistic, and I'm going to show you what realistic is, okay? Because when we zoom in on this character here, okay, I'm going to show you their skin. I hope I don't have too many bulges here that I messed up or something. Okay, that works. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in on this character. I'm going to put a spotlight on his face. Okay, I have a spotlight. We'll turn the spotlight off. Okay, let's go into Iray. I got to get out of Mesh Grabber so his hair comes back. If I delete this, okay, then we'll have an action. This, okay, this right here, this is realism, okay? You will, when you zoom in on those characters in that game, Okay? You won't see this. All right? You will not see textures and pores and layers of shine and pigments and glossiness and dual layers and you're not going to see this, okay? And these eyes, the way the eyes are and all, you're going to see, it's just going to, if I just put, let's just put a Genesis 8 figure in here, okay? Just Genesis 8. And let's find a fairly good one, okay? Not just a, you know, a terrible one, but let's find a Genesis 8 figure. Just to show you the difference just between Genesis 8 and Genesis 9, okay? So, and it's like those hyper real, like Unreal Engine has those, you know, and they move and they look at you and they talk and they kind of, and they don't talk, but you can move their mouth and you can kind of make them seem like they're talking, but yeah, right. And Javier, I think it's Javier. I think that's how you say your name. Javier. I believe, you know, they're made on those, they're called like they're something, there's a hyper people or something like that. They make it seem like they're, but believe me, if it was that easy, then DAZ characters would be moving and talking and looking around like that. It's not, okay? That's the thing, is that when you zoom in on their face, you're not going to get this, okay? It might look like it, but you're not going to get this, okay? You're going to get blur. And now let's just take and pick a Genesis 8 figure here, okay? And let's just compare them, and we'll zoom in on one face, and I'm going to pick, you know, a good Genesis 8 figure. It's one that's made by the DAZ original. Let's find a DAZ original. Okay, I believe Zack might be. Okay, let's see, Zack. Zack might be Genesis original. Yeah, he's a DAZ original. Okay, let's put Zack in. All right. Figure. And he's also HD, which doesn't stand for HD doesn't stand for high definition. It stands for high density, okay? And so it means that they have density in their skin, okay? This is just the difference between a Genesis 8 figure. So if you want hyper realism, Daz Studio, you can get hyper realism in Unreal Engine, but that's not what they specialize in. They're specializing in a game engine, in something that can run around and move, and just look at, like, even the Assassin's Creed, when their hair goes right through their armor, and you see them, you just kind of ignore it because it's a game, okay? But that's the thing, is that now why is Zack so short? What's Zack doing? Yeah, I mean, Unreal Engine has the ability to have layers and layers on this of skin, just like it can load a DAZ character with you can add all the layers, and you can add more nodes, and you can make something incredibly detailed and very high resolution. But that's not the purpose of the Unreal Engine. The purpose of the Unreal Engine is to kind of cheat and make things look as real as possible, but they're not, okay? So we're going to go X-translate with Zack. Come on. What's up with you, Zack? Why are you so small and short? Okay, let's move you up. Y translate. Okay, Zack. Now we're going to zoom in on Zack's face, okay? This is just the difference between Genesis 8 and Genesis 9, okay? Okay. Now look at this skin. We can get a little closer here. Okay. Now look at that skin versus this skin. You see? And I'll tell you right now, those figures in that game where they're running around, it's not even skin like this. Okay? They don't even have skin. When you get up close to that skin, it's not even. So don't let it fool you. Okay? Now I get far enough away and this looks pretty good. But it takes like an hour on most people's computer to render this, so for one frame, okay? And let alone what they're doing to make this work, okay? So this is what Genesis 9 is like, okay? Look at the realism in that. And I can edit this beard to make it look a little more transparent, have the right shine. The hair, I can add sub-D to it. I can add a lot of different things. This hair, I don't even believe this hair is, it's not even the new Omni hair. These eyebrows aren't the eyebrows I would probably really choose here. So, but just to let you know, and that like I said, Unreal Engine can have figures like this, but the minute you put a figure like this in Unreal Engine, it slows down to a crawl. They can't, they every 5 or, every 30 frames, their mouth might move like, and their head might jerk. And yeah, that's the way Unreal is, because it takes a lot to compute what we're working with here in DAZ, okay? The DAZ is giving us the very best that you can get, okay? And the same thing goes with the hand. You want to see some horrible hands, okay? You look at these hands here, and we zoom in on this hand, and look at the knuckles. The knuckles are just like these flat. They have no detail. This is the way this item sold. Now I could if I put this light back in the scene, spotlight, okay, except I think it's going to be too dark, but just look at how kind of horrible that this hand is when we get up close. Look at that. It just doesn't really kind of look right. It looks kind of like a sponge kind of thing. Now let's go take a look at this Genesis 9 hand. Okay, I think I'm going to have to flip this around like this to look at this hand, because I don't want to mess up his pose or anything, but now you have something here. And you can even see, and it's the worst lighting in the world. I can probably turn this lighting back on now. Like, get rid of the spotlight. I can actually use the light on here. Now look at what we have here, okay, for the hand. See the realism in that hand? And I've got a light just blaring onto it, okay? But it still doesn't look that bad. Okay, you're not going to get this realism in any game, anywhere. Okay, you can't. And if you look at this hand, you can see the fingerprints in his thumb. All right, look at the He's got fingerprints. All right, this is the No, this is not 8K skin, okay? This is 4K skin. All right? But the thing is that like the 4K is just like his arms, like his torso, and then his arms are another 4K, and his head is another 4K image, okay? So, and there's several of them, and sometimes they actually do use 8K like layers on it, okay? So that like for bumps and the so yeah, this is so we go back to our camera here, and what I do is I put now a light back in the scene like this and hide it. And this is our image here. Now I could take our HDRI, go into our parameters, and we go just 2.5. Let's just put a little bit more light here. And what if we take the, so you know, I think that kind of think this is done. I could Z would bring it. I think I like it darker actually. And we just render this now at like 2000 maybe is like good enough for, at 2000, that's 2K. So I could render it at 4K. I can render it at 13K right here in DAZ. So this skin is like actually higher than 8K because just the torso is 4K and the head is 4K. The arms are 4K. The legs are 4K. So this it's all, when you add all that together, it's higher than 8K. And it's layers of image. It's not just one image. You've got your normal map, you've got your bump map, you've got ambient maps, you've got your base map, and they're all in 4K, and some of them are in 8K, some of like the bumps. And DAZ has really done something really, really nice for us in giving us these. And like I said, you can load these maps, you can load the figures in there, but then you bring them into Unreal, and they're gonna crawl. They're not gonna just magically move around in Unreal, because Unreal doesn't have any rabbit in under their hat. They can't do anything more to make your graphics card deal with like layers and layers of 4K images any more than DAZ can. So they're cheating, and they're and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying that if you zoom in on those on those faces, those Sims kind of faces, they look very real, but they're not. Okay, when you zoom in, you're going to see the same thing you saw in that less than what's in that Genesis 8 figure. Okay, you're going to see less because they have to bake all those textures in, and they don't have the detail. They can't have the detail. They can't put all that detail into it. Look at the detail in this hair. And look how it's catching the light, and the little sparkles in the hair here. You can't put that into and you got D-force going on here. I mean, you can add D-force, and you got all of these other things. My kind advice is to stick with DAZ and to work with Iray. Okay, work with Iray. And make some, if you want to make like still shot scenes. But if you don't want to make still shot scenes and you want to work with animation, go with Unreal. Because DAZ just doesn't have the animation stuff. Maybe someday they will, okay? But you know, I don't see Unreal having a lot of like motion capture stuff you can buy. Unreal has more to do with like where you set up the bones and you can just kind of like walk them and make them touch things and turn keys and do stuff. But you have to lower the quality no matter what. You have to lower the quality to get a really nice image in Unreal. So you have to lower the quality a lot. And it's an illusion. It looks really nice, but it doesn't look like this. Like when I just zoomed in on his face and you saw like, yeah, it doesn't look you can still tell it's not there yet. It's not like human, but it's so close compared to anything in character creators. They're like their stock characters, the best characters that they have. When you load them in the scene, they probably like 1/3, maybe 1/4 of the quality of a Genesis 9 figure. You just get even slightly close to their face, and their face just turns into this splotchy mess. And it's just it's 1/4 of the quality. And there again, you can load 4K faces and 4K torsos and layers of images on your figures in Character Creator. But once you do, they're not going to just sit there and talk to you anymore. They can't move anymore because because those textures take a lot of rendering power just to do one frame. I'm right now probably up to 16,000 iterations. Yeah, he's done. So we can cancel this. This is called we're going to call this, would you like to cancel this render? Yes. Tyron on the starboard deck. So he's like on a spaceship or something. And yeah. So I guess that's going to do it for me tonight, people. Thank you, Javier, for coming in here and saying hello and talking with us. It's very nice. In Serenity's Gate, Art is sleeping now, and Angus is probably still here. I'm sure he will pipe in and say hello. So, yeah, we've got Javier here. If we go here to our PNG. This is Tyron on the starboard deck. And we can make this large like that. You are very welcome. You are welcome. Because Javier, I made some big mistakes, okay? I went out and spent like $3,000 on like character creator and iClone, and I bought all of them thinking, oh, look how awesome the characters are and everything. And when I got, the programs and got them all set up, and I went in and looked at the characters, I really looked, and it took me like months before, because I was just so fooled by it all, It's like, look, I can just click that button and he'll just move, and he'll kind of, he'll shrug and walk around and everything, and it looks so real. But it took me a while to kind of zoom in on his face and compare, and then go back to Daz and zoom in on the face and say, wow, I mean, this texture looks hideous. It looks all splotchy and blurry and just horrible, horrible, horrible. But, from a certain distance, it looks good, and they can just move and walk around and look real, but don't let it fool you, okay? Where did Angus go? Oh, no, Angus. Thank you, Angus, for chiming in. It's very lovely to have you here. So I hope you have learned stuff tonight. I hope this was helpful to people. We have, Javier, what you need to do is you need to decide what you want to do, okay? Do you want to make games, or do you want to make like images like this, okay? Where it looks like, but it's one frame, okay? It's one frame. But, maybe, in 10 years, he'll be walking around like nothing, okay? And he's going to look like, be able to walk around like the figures do in Unreal. But for now, you have to decide. And see, I can put an entire house. I can put fog in here. I could put, he's got like a creature or a robot with him or something. I can put, stuff, some kind of portal here, okay? And render one frame, a very complex scene. That's what I do. And, I love animation. I want to be an animator. I want to animate, but it's not there. It's just not there yet, because the figures, when you zoom in on their face, it's terrible, okay? And their hair goes right through their collar of their shirt, Their armor, when they lift their arms up, their armor goes right through their neck, It's just, but this, if I put the robot here with some little, some lights and stuff, very kind of cool looking robot, or maybe an alien back here. Yes, they are two different worlds. And the thing is, Serenity's Gate, is you can get caught between the two of them. And then you can stay in that limbo for a long time. I was caught between it for a year at least. Yes, good night, Serenity's Gate. I'm about to leave as well. I'm just kind of, I'm not supposed to just like say, okay, bye, and I'm gone. According to YouTube's suggestions and other artists, other creators on YouTube, you got to kind of wind down, and you got to say goodnight slowly and not just say, all right, see ya. So I'm probably going to be another maybe 5 minutes or so. And Angus sits there. It's like, okay, you said you were leaving. Now, when are you going to leave? It's like, don't say you're going to leave and then be there for another 2 hours. So, but yeah, Javier, make a decision. And once you make that decision, then you either start collecting DAZ models, okay, and start making scenes. DAZ is free. The DAZ program is free. Start making scenes. You make DAZ models, or you well, you can say anything you like, Angus, to a degree. Okay. So you are welcome. You are a VIP member of the chat. So yeah, so it's make a choice, all right, and then go with it, okay? And because they're two different worlds, it doesn't mean you can't play around in Unreal. It doesn't mean that you can't go out and buy Character Creator and have some fun with it, make it, bring a DAZ figure in there. But you're going to notice that it's going to take hours and hours. Like with me in Unreal, it's like I was just in Blender, trying to make a marble texture. And it was like 4 hours later, I finally had like a marble shader, and and it's like, wow, oh, wow. I can't believe it. It was a beautiful marble shader, but it took me 4 hours. No, I didn't say you were old. I said you were a VIP. That means very important person. So I'm old. So, but it took me 4 hours to make a marble texture. And, yes, I learned all kinds of stuff And have a wonderful night, Javier. You too. You as well. All of you. I am going to leave now, so we're going to play some polka. Some polka time, people. Let's get up and dance. I will see you again. Please leave a like on my video. I need likes. Make sure you click the bell so that you get all notifications, okay? And come back and be part of the next chat. We'll have all kinds of new stuff we'll look into. I have 10,600 DAZ products. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about and to do. And so take care. I will see you in the next EZ3DTV tutorial. Javier, Angus, Serenity's Gate, and Art. And I'm sure we've had a few other people in here tonight as well. You are all wonderful. You're welcome in the chat. You are welcome in the chat. You may not think so, but you are. Yes, you too, Angus. Good night, people. And we're on the second stanza of our polka time. I will see you again in the next EZ3DTV tutorial. It is RexRed saying so long for now. Good night.